A family's generational wealth turns out to be tied to a decades-old deal with the devil. And now the debt is finally coming due. We open with a psychic named Sekar visiting the home of Mira and Vishnu. Their young daughter Zora has ADHD, but is unusually gifted, painting, singing, dancing, and chatting with an imaginary pregnant friend named Widuri that no one else can see. Sekar explains Zora's aura marks her as an indigo child, someone with a strong sixth sense who'll grow up seeing things most people can't. While investigating a noise upstairs, something invisible drags Zora into her bedroom, leaving deep scratches across her stomach. Sekar reveals an unseen being is trying to possess her, but Zora's parents just want their daughter to be normal, so they ask Sekar to strip away her powers entirely and wipe the memory clean. Jump to Jakarta in 2023, where adult Zora now runs her own art gallery. Her fiancé Aksa stops by to discuss his company's construction plans. And while she supports his career, she warns him against partnering with a shady businessman named Adiwirya, tired of watching her own family's corruption. Then she gets an urgent call about her younger sister Ninda, who's been skipping school for days, unable to sleep because something's been haunting her every night. That evening, Ninda admits to Zora that she keeps hearing voices and seeing a blurry woman calling out to her. Zora chalks it up to Ninda skipping her schizophrenia medication, but Ninda insists it's all real. We flash back a year to a family road trip where Ninda suddenly begs her father to stop the car, moments before they're hit by a truck. She later reveals she dreamed about the crash beforehand and has been seeing things ever since. Back in the present, Zora vents to Aksa, who mentions a psychic connected to his late father, whose supposed he's never accepted. That night, the backyard door swings open on its own, and Ninda comes face to face with a ghostly woman, one that soon appears looming behind Zora herself. When she goes to check things out, shaken, Zora agrees to finally see the psychic, who turns out to be Sekar. Sekar explains that indigos can perceive beings from other realms, and that Ninda also has precognition, letting her glimpse the future. Zora dismisses it all as nonsense and tries to leave with her sister, still confronting Aksa over working under the corrupt Yudi. That night, watching the news, Zora learns Ninda's school trip bus crashed and killed 28 students, exactly matching what Ninda had feared that night. The entity appears outside Ninda's window, telling her simply that it wants her. It corners her in her room, leaving her with fresh scratches by the time Zora rushes in, and they all watch the door slam shut on its own. At the hospital, Sekar and a woman named Elma arrive to check on Ninda, and Sekar asks if Zora still carries similar scars on her own stomach. When she confirms it, Sekar reveals that 17 years earlier, Zora's own parents brought her in for the exact same reason, before ultimately asking Sekar to seal her powers away forever. The entity haunting Ninda is the same one Zora used to call Widuri as a child, the one who scarred her stomach originally. Unlike a typical possession, Widuri isn't looking to just borrow a body temporarily. She wants to become human permanently, and the scarring is how she marks a target. Sealing Ninda's third eye won't work anymore since her powers have already progressed too far. So the group realizes they'll need Zora's dormant abilities restored too if they're going to have any real chance of fighting Widuri off. Even knowing it puts her back in danger, overwhelmed, Zora asks Aksa to postpone their wedding. And back home, Ninda hangs a protective charm on the door that Sekar gave them that night. The charm turns up broken, and Widuri drags Ninda from her hiding spot in Zora's room, leaving her with fresh scratches on her leg. Desperate, Zora agrees to have her powers restored, despite Sekar's warning that it can never be undone once it's back. During the process, Zora relives her own birth and watches Sekar originally sealing her third eye, witnessing Widuri hovering over the bed as young Sekar banishes her the first time. Once Zora wakes with her memories intact, she gets pulled away to her gallery over a supposed issue with a painting there. She encounters a man whose reflection is missing entirely from a nearby mirror and flees as he reveals his true inhuman form. With the elevators dead and the exits locked, she barely manages to escape into a storeroom, only to watch the gallery's supposedly cursed sculpture open its eyes and rise to come after her too. She barricades herself in another room until frantic knocking turns out to just be Aksa, Ninda, and her assistant catching up to her. Back at Sekar's house, she starts teaching the sisters to manage their energy. energy, since the broken charm means they can no longer rely on outside protection alone. We learn that Sekar's own children never got her gift, that her parents disowned her for being different, and that 2 years earlier, her husband Anwar was killed while assisting her on an exorcism, an unseen force crushing his heart midair the moment the ritual seemed finished. Sekar reveals that what killed him was Satan himself, the most dangerous entity of all, capable of manipulating other spirits and hiding his presence completely. Her son Dafa has believed ever since that being indigo is nothing but a curse. And when Waduri later attacks Ninda in the bathroom, catching everyone off guard, Sekar drives her off, but not before Waduri drags Elma out a window during the struggle, killing her instantly. That night, Dafa confronts his grieving mother, and Sekar admits she sometimes wonders if losing everyone she loves is simply the price of these powers. Meanwhile, doctors can't explain Ninda's condition, and she slips into a semi-coma. Zora reveals that during Waduri's attack, she caught a glimpse into the entity's entire past and realizes she can now see backward through time. Using this new ability, she witnesses her own grandmother, revealing that Satan demands a pregnant sacrifice, confirming her grandmother was indigo too. She's pulled further back to watch her grandparents capture a heavily pregnant Waduri, trading her life for endless generational wealth. Her grandmother later confronts Waduri's ghost directly, choosing to take life rather than risk being possessed herself. Sekar explains that Waduri can't take a corpse, only living indigo descendants, meaning only Zora and Ninda remain vulnerable. And worse, Waduri isn't just after a body to inhabit, she wants to carry a child, an outcome that would be catastrophic for everyone. They move Ninda into Sekar's house for closer protection. While there, Zora encounters the ghost of Axa's late father, Agus, who shows her how he was murdered back in 2005 after secretly witnessing Zora's grandfather worshiping Satan in the woods, his body hidden and his death covered up ever since. Zora learns Agus died because he stumbled onto the sacrificial site buried behind their old family home in Bogor. Sekar explains that a demonic pact can be broken by confronting and destroying the remains tied to the original sacrifice, meaning Waduri's spirit can be banished for good if they retrieve and destroy what's left of her body. Aksa volunteers to head to Bogor, with Sekar warning that the ritual binding this deal always reactivates at 11 on the night of a full moon, meaning the remains have to be destroyed before the moon is fully covered or it'll be too late. As Aksa sets out, he refuses new pressure from Yudi to sabotage the site, confirming he's quit both the job and the company entirely. Back home, Dafa insists on helping with the ritual, despite his mother's objections, having read his late sister's old case notes. As the clock ticks toward 11, with Aksa unreachable after a car accident on the way back, Sekar warns Zora not to let Waduri in to either of her or Ninda. The wind howls through the house, the candles die, and before long, Zora collapses and wakes up fully possessed, her body twisting unnaturally as Waduri takes control. She taunts Sekar with cold confidence, toys with Ninda, and has Dafa cook for her, savoring her first real meal in decades, while revealing she now considers the family's entire fortune rightfully hers, payment owed for the life that was stolen from her, and confirming her alliance with Satan never actually ended. Meanwhile, it's revealed Yudi arranged Aksa's crash himself, though he survives it. Ninda learns Waduri hasn't fully taken over Zora yet, leaving a narrow window to still drive her out. Still wearing Zora's body, Waduri turns her attention to Dafa, hinting Satan would welcome him joining her properly. While Ninda heads out to help Aksa retrieve the remains, Sekar and Dafa try to force Waduri out with a blessed amulet, and she retaliates violently, hurling Sekar through glass and knocking Dafa unconscious. Meanwhile, Ninda finds Aksa, who confirms the remains are finally in the car. For a brief moment, Zora's own voice breaks through Waduri's control, insisting she holds no real power over her. But Waduri quickly retakes full control, her eyes turning solid white as she stabs Dafa and chases him down, both of them eventually tumbling off a balcony together. together. Sakaar wakes just in time to stop Widuri from finishing him off, wrestling her down as both crash through a window together. Ninda finally makes it home, helping wrap the amulet around Zora's hand and urging her to fight back from within. Sakaar finally retrieves Widuri's actual remains and rushes to destroy them, even as Widuri knocks Ninda and Dafa aside, trying to stop her just before Widuri can reach her. Sakaar throws the remains into the fire, freezing her in place as she's finally torn out of Zora's body for good. Zora collapses but wakes moments later, and when Dafa asks if it's truly over, Sakaar admits they were too late. The moon had already been fully covered, leaving the real outcome uncertain. By the end, the family sells off their grandparents' old house, Yudi is arrested, and Aksa and Zora get married while running an orphanage together. Months later, a pregnant Zora is reassured by Aksa that he'll love their child no matter what, indigo or not. Just then, she notices Ninda outside, shaken by a dream of coming chaos she isn't sure anyone can actually stop, describing it only as a dark age on the way. In the final reveal, it turns out Widuri's wish to become human again was granted by Satan only as a trick to plant something of himself inside a living host. Since anything the devil touches, even briefly, leaves a piece of itself behind, Zora's grandmother's original bargain had bound her descendants to help Satan bring his own children into the world in exchange for endless wealth. And the film closes on an unseen hand pressing against Zora's pregnant belly.